Welcome in. Come tell a friend. This is your Wakanda RN. Glad to have you today, ladies and gentlemen. I have a special guest, man. Special guest, man. Khan, you from Dallas. From Dallas. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let people know who you are and what you do.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Can and I am a trauma nurse practitioner and a content creator in Dallas, Texas.
What's up? That's what's up. So let me ask you. So why Dallas? Are you from Dallas? Like how'd you end up in Dallas?
So in 2019, I moved from Mississippi to
Okay.
Dallas. You might hear a little bit of my accent in this podcast interview, but I moved from Mississippi to Dallas. We won't talk about the specifics of that, but we're going to say that I moved to Dallas and I got a job. When I first started nursing, I was doing ortho trauma. And I moved to Texas and I got a job at a really good hospital, Magna Hospital, level one trauma, everything. And it was orthopedics. And I was just bored out of my mind. So then that's when I transitioned. I feel like moving to Dallas is what really like made me chase my passion for nursing instead of just staying complacent. So yeah, sometimes you gotta make big moves to get to where you really want to be. So I moved from Mississippi to Dallas for more opportunities.
Nice, nice. So did you have you embraced Dallas culture, Texan culture, or is it kind of like, nah, I'm still Mississippi?
So Mississippi.
I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad at it. So how did this journey come about? Like how did you become a nurse? How did you become a nurse practitioner? What made you choose your specialty? Kind of walk us through a little bit.
Gosh, I feel like I'm in an interview. Okay, so what made me choose nursing? Honestly, it's like this one pivotal moment that I remember from my childhood because we don't remember everything, right? But just like bits and pieces. And I remember seeing like this homeless person walking. Where I'm from is poverty stricken. We got healthcare disparities. The nurse practitioners are the doctors. We don't have doctors. But I seen a homeless person like walking down the street. And I told my mama, I was like, you know what, mama, when I grow up, I want to have like this clinic, this healthcare clinic where I just give people free healthcare. Like all homeless people, they got somewhere to stay. I can give them free healthcare and I can do all these things. And I had big dreams, right? But
Right.
I go to college. I went to the University of Southern Mississippi for my first degree, which was public health administration. And we won't talk about why I didn't pursue nursing there, but I just feel like it wasn't my time. But as soon as I graduated with my health administration degree is where I got all of my information about policy and Medicare, Medicaid, all of these disparities. They always brought up the Mississippi Delta. Whenever you talk about healthcare disparities, that's all they bring up. And I'm sitting right there like I'm a product of that environment. That's where I'm from. So I went right to nursing school after that. I got accepted. I did the traditional route where I had all my prereqs, so I just got into a nursing program. But I just kept thinking about like all of the family members that I had. They're first generation college students. Nobody knows like what happened to those people. My cousin who died in her 40s from pneumonia. When I was young, I was thinking, what do you think? What are you saying? Like my cousin died from pneumonia. That's nothing to die.
You good.
Like that's nothing to die from. And I had an uncle too who was Happy Pride Month. He was homosexual and he had AIDS and he died. And then I had my granddad who was suffering from lung cancer that metastasized to his brain and he wouldn't stop smoking weed. And he was like, hey, I gotta die from something. And I'm like, all these people that meant so much to me that I could not save. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I can use that as motivation to fuel my desire to actually make a purpose in this world, to actually do something that's bigger than myself. And honestly, I feel like that's what me and my twin both have sought out to do is like change people's lives, to help people. A passion that's bigger than the both of us. So it was an easy decision, honestly. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I love nursing.
Man, I listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I feel like your name is like an entendre, can. It's like you had this belief that you absolutely can make a difference. You can make a
Absolutely.
change. And I think that that's wonderful because I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, your story is passionate, it is noble, and I'm sitting here like, "Dang, what my motivation?"
What was your motivation?
Listen. So, I wish I had like this nice, shiny dream to be like, man, I want to save my family.
Yeah.
Listen, I was like, listen, I want a job.
Hey.
I want to get paid, but I also want to help people. That it was just as simple as that. It wasn't much motivation because originally I started off as a physical therapy major. That was my first major. Then, long story short, I lived with my grandparents and they were both retired nurses. One was a retired LPN and the other is a retired RN. And so living with them, they kept talking to me. They were like, "You should switch to nursing." I was like, "Man, I don't know." And then eventually I made the change. But I like your story a whole lot better than mine. So shout out to you for sure. So, you wanted to make a change, you want to make a difference. So do you feel like, where you are in your journey right now, you feel like you've started making that difference, or you feel like what are some of those goals and achievements that you currently have right now?
So definitely, I feel like like I stated earlier, when I was doing just ortho, I was like, nah, I'm not really helping people. I feel like I'm just pushing pills.
Mhm.
Honestly, we're getting the knee replacements, hip replacements, shoulders. I'm helping people, but I'm not doing it much. It wasn't until I transitioned into critical care when I started working in the surgical ICU and surgical PCU, and I saw the absolute miracles that happen, and I was there as a witness and also as a vessel that God has used me to be that healthcare provider in these people's lives, to make an absolute difference, a change in their diagnosis, and see them do a complete 180 from no brain activity to we drilling the hole for the EVD drain. And now the next time I come to work, you're up walking around the unit, walking, talking, smiling. Excuse me? Like,
Wow.
I
Wow.
was like, trauma? Absolutely. Because when it comes to like the things that, of course, I have a soft spot in my heart for people that have AIDS, or for people that, what's the other one? I can't even remember, but I have soft spots. Cancer, AIDS, all those type of chronic diseases, those things have a soft spot in my heart. But I found that when I was just only working with people with chronic diseases, that I was not getting uh, the effect. I was more so depressed. I was like, it's nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? But now when I get to trauma, I don't always just have like very sick patients. Sometimes I have healthy patients who just have happened to be in a traumatic experience. And to watch them go from 0 to 100, I'm like, I'm so happy to go to work every single day. I'm so happy to be doing this. Like, it's amazing, actually. So, yeah, I think more people should choose trauma, if you want me to get on that soapbox.
Okay. I've had just a little bit in my career. I have a little bit of emergency room experience. I think I worked at a trauma. I used to work at a trauma level 3. It used to be a trauma level 2. Then you lose resources, and then it became a trauma level 3. So, but it felt like the acuity was a 2. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we got everything and treated everything we could before we shipped them out or transferred them to another high level of care. But I'll tell you what though, I mean, my short stint in the emergency department, I feel like I learned a lot. I learned a
Mm,
lot because my background before that was med-surg, and then before that it was long-term care. So, I did the opposite because a lot of people they go from emergency room and then they go to long-term care. They start off fast and then they go slower. Mine was the exact opposite because I was like, when I got into it, I was like, wait a minute, I should have done this a long time ago. Just
yes,
because of the sheer amount that you see, you learn, like, I don't know. 'Cause I know some new grads probably might listen to this. Let me tell you something. Like, if you like the hustle and bustle, I didn't work at a trauma facility, like a trauma level 1. I didn't work there, but let me tell you something. You can learn a lot and get a lot of experience, and you may find what you may call your calling. You may find it there too.
yes.
So, just, what I'm saying, just give it a shot. You never know. You never know. So for you, it sounds like you have a faithful calling in what you're doing. It sounds like you have experienced blessings and miracles and everything that you do. And I feel like there's not enough nurses that experience that because I think a lot of people neglect like the spiritual aspect of nursing
Yeah.
because nursing itself is holistic, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. So do you kind of feel that way as well? That people kind of they just don't have their eyes aren't open or they're just neglecting that spiritual aspect, God's calling. You know, how do you feel about that?
100% agree with that take. And the reason why I say this, I feel like as Black people, and I don't want to get on this soapbox, but I'm going to just say, you can be spiritual and religious. Okay? I'm going to just put that out there. You can be spiritual and religious. And also, like, when you think about how we're taking care of our patients, it's not just, oh, I'm doing care plans and I'm just giving medication. You're taking care of the whole person. When your patient asks you, oh, hold my hand, can you pray with me? Or, I've had patients who were of a different culture, African, that is in there and they're calling the ancestors and all these things. All of those different things are so like powerful. And all of those go hand in hand with how we're like to treat the patient holistically, like as a
Uh,
whole person. So I think that also when you dig deep within yourself and you figure out what your purpose is like in life and you use that to fuel like your passions with everything that you do, then it makes life more enjoyable. I guess I'll say that. I don't see nursing as a just a job. You know what I'm saying? Like I
mhm,
see it as this is something that I was called to do. And people do say nursing is not a calling, but that's just because you can't reach within yourself and pull out what you feel like you're being called to do. But I advise people to take some time, do some self reflection, and actually figure out what you think your purpose is on this earth and what you want to do with the rest of your time while you here because we only got one life. I mean, if you believe in reincarnation, we have multiple.
I feel you. I
You
feel
can
you.
figure that out.
I feel you. I feel you. No, I really do appreciate that answer. I feel like nursing is missing that holistic care because I feel like I'm not trying to go too deep into it as well. I'm a person that loves data. I love research because I feel like, you know, especially I'm gonna keep it centered here in America. You know, religion itself, spirituality itself is on a decline. And so, but I also feel like that affects all aspects, all areas of life too, because as a human being, we are spiritual creatures. Whether you want to admit it, whether you want to admit it or not, we are spiritual creatures. So I feel like when you go into your career choice, your career field, and especially one that's supposed to be as tender, loving, caring as nursing, if you neglect that spiritual aspect, I feel like you're neglecting nursing itself because that's what's supposed to come with it. So I do appreciate you acknowledging that and talking about that. So speaking of the ancestors, so you are part of the 8% of Black nurse practitioners. 8%. So let me ask you, why do you think it's only 8%? Why is that? Why is that number so low?
Oh, we'll be here all day. Um, just saying like the systematic and oppression, the racism in healthcare, how they try to keep us out of these spaces. Even with I'll say one of the reasons why I didn't pursue nursing as my first degree is because my advisor, somebody that was supposed to be there to help me, even though I was overly qualified for the nursing program, told me that I wouldn't be. She was like, she just assumed that I didn't have the qualifications. And I was like, I won't do good here. I won't do well here because I don't have people around me that are having my best interest at heart. Number one, like they keep us out of programs, they keep us out of these spaces. Number two, I'm a first generation college student. Going to school and like going to college, sometimes, especially where I'm from, it's an afterthought. Like, no, we're not thinking that's not nobody's thinking, oh, when I graduate from high school, I'm going to college. Not where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Like they get a job. Some of them don't even graduate from high school. They get a job and they make ends meet. Like that's what I grew up on. My family making ends meet. My mama making ends meet. You know what I'm saying? But also, we've surpassed all of that, and we go to school, and you graduate, and then you think about all of the the things that first generation college students have to deal with, like financial issues. Oh, now I'm big money because I done graduated from college, and everybody, my cousin, my grandma, my mama, all of them can call and ask me for money. Money that I'm trying to put aside to go to grad school. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so like it's so many factors against us that kick people out, like, left and right, left and right. The people around you don't have any idea what you're going through because they never went through it. So they can't
Mm.
support you. You don't have a support system. You don't have the money. You don't have the proper education to get into think about the schools and stuff that we went to. Well, we get hand-me-down books and like you know what I'm saying? All of this stuff from even slavery is still impacting us today. Why are there not enough black doctors and black nurses and all these other things? And honestly, it's so many reasons why. And racism is the root cause of most of it. And that's all I'm just gonna say. Like that's just it. It's racism and oppression.
Mhm.
But we made it. That's all I'm saying. It's a heavy loaded question. But we
Yeah,
made
it's definitely a heavy loaded question. I do appreciate your perspective. I just like to see that number increase. You know what I'm saying?
it.
And I know there's a lot of oh my gosh, you talk about spending time on this all day. Like I know there's a lot of stumbling blocks, if I was gonna say that, that's in the way of a lot of people of color, especially with us within the black community. And let me tell you something. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, man, I don't know if I can, you can. You can. All right. Your journey may not be easy. You may go through a lot of trials and tribulations, but you can do it. All right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, like to beat the odds, like you're more likely to be locked up. You're more likely to not be here on this earth than to be successful in this life or to get a college degree and to have a career. But let me tell you, you can break generational change. You can break generational curses. It can definitely be done. So if you're listening to this and you have doubts, don't doubt. Have faith. All right. Have that faith and you can do it. Okay. Because as time goes on, I want to see that number increase. You know what I'm saying? We got to start somewhere. I mean, we're up to 8%. I mean, hey, I'm trying to get it to at least 10. I want to see double figures. And then I want to see it go from 10 to 15. I want to see it go from 10 to 20. Like, I want those numbers to slowly but surely increase because they're needed in our communities. They're needed.
Yeah. And people keep saying y'all need to stop going to school for nursing. We need nurses.
Boy, you gonna get me started. You gonna get me started over here.
That's my number one pet peeve.
You gonna get me started because here's the thing too. Here's the thing too. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna try to get out my soapbox. I'm gonna try to just say it and be done. If you are within the black community, and I know right now for some people in some areas, nursing is a hot topic. You know, whether it's becoming a CNA, LPN, RN, you climb that ladder. And there's some people that are like, well, everybody want to be a nurse now. Everybody want to be a nurse. Who cares? All right. We need more of us in nursing. We need more of us in these spaces. All right. I'm telling y'all, in terms of health outcomes, I'm telling you, lower hospital stays. I'm telling y'all, the data is out there. When you see more of us within the respective areas that we need to be to, and especially specialty areas, it's more beneficial than not.
Amen.
I'm just
And the
saying.
literature shows that. Research, actual research shows that. Make sure they know that part.
Yes, yes. So I'm trying not to harp on it too long because I had this conversation not too long ago with a speech pathologist and occupational therapy, and we had a good discussion about the lack of diversity within these particular fields. And I had somebody who was white is a speech pathologist, and we had a good heart to heart. I was, about there's a lack of representation, there's a lack of diversity within your particular area, and there's some gatekeeping going on. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'm not going to sit here and repeat the whole thing for y'all. But I'm just saying these conversations are happening and they need to be had. There's so many people out there saying like, why you got to bring up race? Why you got to bring this up? Why it's causing division? Listen, it needs to be brought up because it just needs to be brought up. It's just as simple as that. These areas are not talked about enough. All
Hmm.
right. And we're trying to see more people come into these areas. We don't need less, we need more. Okay. So that's why these conversations have to be had. Which I already know somebody gonna be salty and something negative to say about it, but these conversations are gonna continue to happen. And it's just gonna be had. That's just as simple as that. They just have to. They just have to. So speaking of, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, my best friend is a speech language pathologist. Her twin, because I have a twin, she has a twin, is a physical therapist. My twin is a therapist. So all of these areas where we're underpopulated. And so we are excelling, we are expanding, and it is possible for you to follow your dream and actually make a change and a difference.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so let me piggyback on that too. So some people think like because I don't see me in my potential career field, I don't need to pursue it. That's not
Mhm.
true. That's not true. You can pursue it. And let me tell you something. There is communities that are out there. You just got to go, you just have to find them. They're out there. There's people who are willing to support you, people willing to give you advice, people that are willing to be there for you for mentorship. There's people that are out there. But I understand maybe in your local area, you may be like, I just don't see me in this field. Okay, you may feel that way, but trust me, there's people out there who are more than willing to help. And speaking of which, I know you created like you got to correct me, but the Dallas Fort Worth like nurses, like what is that? Talk to me about that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So I do have a Facebook group. I was talking about it on Threads, and Threads is like up and popping since I got off Twitter because there's too much going on over there. The nursing community is like very huge on there. And what I plan to do for the Black nurses in the DFW area, I'm trying to create like this networking hub where we have preceptors for how hard it was for me to find a preceptor when I was doing nurse practitioner school, mentors for newer nurses, so that we can lift as we climb, and also to have like little networking events and things like that. I have a few members in there, but as my platform continues to grow, then I hope to get more members and to start doing like more events and to like start. I don't know if you guys know Nurse Row, but she does the Atlanta Nurse Expo, and we are already talking about, oh, we need to get together. Like once
Mhm.
I get this up and running in Dallas, and we have interconnected, and we're just gonna, oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so much fun, but also it's gonna be like valuable for those of us
Mhm.
because hey, white people sticks together, and we got to learn how to do that.
Mhm.
Right? No
Mhm.
matter what, we got to learn how to do that, and that's my way of contributing to.
I love that. I love that. So that's not like that's going to be a good thing and a positive thing for our community because I feel like there's not enough groups like that. And
Yeah.
I think there's more areas that have less representation in that than others. So I'm happy that you're doing that down here in the South. So I'm very happy that you're doing that. So let me bring up another topic real quick. So listen, man, I know like in future nursing yearbooks, we're going to
Yeah.
see the name Yas Scott. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna be like a yearly thing. We're gonna have like an anniversary. It's just gonna be in future textbooks about the Med Pass and all that stuff, which I know everybody has their take on the Med Pass. But here's something I feel as though people aren't talking about is the fact that, yeah, she made a mistake. Yeah, that event happened, but some people didn't let it just move on. There's people who literally tried to capitalize off of somebody else's misfortune, doing multiple videos, just beating a dead horse, I feel like. And yet we see stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? And long nails, we're gonna talk about excessive makeup, we're gonna talk about all that stuff. Why do people feel as though they can come into our space and they're people that, they're supposedly of color, right? We're not even talking about people that are my white friends or Caucasian friends. We're talking about people who are supposed to be, of color and
Right.
still some mocking somebody that's black. Like what is up with that? Like what's your thought on that? You don't have to rant on it too long, but I just gotta get like what's your thought on that?
My thought on that is the very reason why I don't identify as a person of color. I identify as black and don't call me anything else. And when you go back and you look at that video of Yes, we just got off this soapbox a few weeks ago with the young lady. I don't know, she was ambiguous. I don't know her race, but she was talking about how nurse practitioners, you gotta stop coming to work all ghetto looking with your
Man,
eyelashes all like this
man, yeah, that is true.
and your nails all out like this and looking unprofessional. Since when has it ever been? First, let me just say it. Since when has it ever been unprofessional to come to work looking like you care about yourself? Okay. So we just came off of that. And then we go to Gas, who I mean, she had clean face, nice skin, hair pulled back, very professional looking. But you get on social media and you make a video with markers on your hand, just doing all this like she was acting ghetto in your. We all know who they was talking about when they was talking about ghetto, but you're acting ghetto, smacking on gum, talking, chewing, doing all these things, overlined lips, dramatic makeup. Yes, didn't have anything like that going on in her video. For you to make a parody video with all of those elements, it's giving that you're not trying to bring awareness to the situation. It's giving that you are racist. And just because you got a black friend or your mama is Afro Latina or whatever you want to call it, does not mean that you cannot be racist. You are not black. It's called anti-black. That's the name of it. You're anti-black. Anytime anybody black does something, you're anti-it. So like this young lady, yeah, she did some crazy stuff that I wouldn't ever do. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 videos, okay. You started making videos now, it's an issue. And now you adding different elements and stuff into the video that didn't have nothing to do with the video at hand. You just trying to make fun of black people now. And I have a problem with that. And I'm gonna say something about it every single time. My purpose, and I even had another. These were his. I'm not sure if they were Hispanic. I'm not really sure of their ethnicities, but somebody commented under there, and they was like, "Oh yeah, now this comment got flagged." Yeah, because I wouldn't do that though, because they were asking me, "Can you show like why didn't you say anything about the white people?" I said, "I haven't seen any white people." I said, "I haven't seen
My
any white
gosh.
people that were acting, ghetto, acting like she had long nails, makeup and stuff. I didn't see any white people doing it." They said, I said, "But you can tag me in those videos and I'll say something because I don't care. I'm gonna say something." And they were like, "Oh, but I don't do that because I don't throw other minorities under the bus like you just did." Excuse me? I said, "You know
Mm-mm.
what? You have a voice and I have a voice, and my voice is reserved for black people and people that look like me. That's what my voice is reserved for." So when I see some injustice or somebody making racist remarks or anti-black remarks, trust me, I'm going to say something. When it comes to black nurses, I'm going to say something. And you have a right to say something about your ethnicity and your people. You have a right to do that. What you're not going to do is do that up under my video. That's what we're not gonna do. Cause you have your own platform and go make a video about that on your own time. This ain't that. And it's called straw man's fallacy. When people are over here talking about something that ain't nobody talking about at all, and then you come over here talking about, but these white people, we talking about baby girl right here, what she just did. That's what we're talking about.
You speaking too much now. Straw man fallacy. These people don't even know
Yeah.
what that is.
So
They don't even
yeah,
know what that is.
they gotta go look it up.
Shoot, man, there's so many people that get on the internet. They just argue without a cause. They don't understand straw man. They don't understand ad hominem. They don't know. They don't know any of this stuff. They don't know
They
how to
need to
argue with
check this.
logic, reason. They don't know. These people don't know. I used to take so many people seriously. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is my fault. I acknowledge this is my own personal fault. I used to think people were smarter than what they were. Can you believe me? Can you believe me for thinking that? I used to think people were smarter than what they were. I used to think that people had a basic understanding of reading comprehension and listening comprehension. I have learned real quick that people lack reading and listening comprehension. They just argue to argue, or they troll, or they just troll. I learned that real quick. So I'm like, you know what? If somebody wants to have a civilized, honest discussion, we can have that. Otherwise, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just not going to waste
I
my time.
don't. I don't waste my time.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're the same. You're the same regarding that issue. So I get you. You talk about straw man. We talk about ad hominem. We talk about all this other stuff. They don't know what that is. They have no clue. They don't know what that is. They gotta go Google it. They gotta go Chat GPT. They have no idea. They have no idea. So, but I get what you're stepping in there. So let me ask you something. If you have one, what's an unpopular opinion that you have?
So I do. I have a few. I have a few. And being that I was a student nurse tech before I was a nurse, people would think that I think opposite of what I'm about to say. I do not think that you should start off as a CNA before you become a nurse. I don't think that you can teach empathy. And I do not
Mm.
think that just because somebody is a CNA before they become a nurse, that does not make them a better, that doesn't make a person. If they didn't like the job then, They're definitely not gonna like it now. Like, doing more of what you don't like is not going to make you better at it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I
Like,
do.
and bedside manner and empathy, those things, like, if it's in you, then you got it. Like, it's just in you. But, like, you can't teach that. So, no, I don't think being a CNA before you become a nurse is going to help you out or be beneficial in any type of way if you're not a good person and if you're not just in it for the right reasons. Another thing is I just started med-surg. I don't think anybody should be starting med-surg, and I don't even think med-surg is a good starting point for nurses because you have so many
That'll
patients.
get people right there. Go ahead, though.
Tell you, you have so many patients that you don't even know your right hand from your left hand. How can you sit down and actually learn about these disease processes and understand what's going on when every 5 minutes you got to go change a total care patient and you got to go give pain meds and you're being pulled all these different directions? You don't have time. Emotionally, like your mind is so like all over the place. You don't even have time to actually sit down and figure out what is actually going on. I learned so much as a nurse when I transitioned from floor nursing to critical care, and it was so much that I did not.
Mm, mm,
I think that if what I did have from my CNA experience and from my floor nursing experience was time management. But even still, the time management is a different time management when you go to the ICUs and ED, like higher level of care areas.
mhm.
It's different. You could take little bits and pieces from I don't work so many specialties. You take all of that with you and it builds into like, the type of provider and the type of nurse that you become eventually. But yeah, I don't think med-surg is a good starting point. I actually think it's just a waste of time and it's unnecessary if that's not something that you want to do.
Well, I can't wait for people to respond to that. I can't wait. I can't wait. I remember
I can't argue with it. Yeah, I'm saying.
listen, there's people that they are salivating to argue. They are salivating. There's people to this day that think that all new grads should go to med-surg, even still to this day, which is crazy. I argued with I had a post almost a year ago now where oh my gosh, and it caught like I had so much back and forth in my comment section. So I had stitched a content creator's video, and she had said something about new grads shouldn't go to aesthetics, and so I said we're supposed to go med surge, and then that caused like a big old controversy. Caused a big controversy.
I saw that video about the aesthetics though. I
Oh,
saw that.
did you? Yeah, yeah. So that caused like a big controversy, and so and I was trying to get people to understand the point. The point is, I understand people have various of opinion. I say that people go wherever you want it, wherever your specialty is, wherever you're going to be valued, if people are going to invest in you, go wherever you want to go. This is 2025. Like, we're not talking about the early 2000s or even the 1900s anymore. What are we talking about? Like, if you want to go somewhere, just go somewhere. Like, what's the big deal? Unless somebody can prove me wrong or give me some evidence, right? Give me some good research, some good evidence that proves otherwise. What are we arguing about? You know what I'm saying? But that line of thinking is still here. It is still here. It is still prevalent. And I'm trying to get people to get out of this old mindset. It's old. It doesn't work. I've even had people try to go back and forth with me on my own lives about this very same topic. And I'm just like, bro, we can't move forward unless we get out of this backwards way of thinking. But I digress. I digress. So I think the last thing I want to ask you is, so you went to, you got to give me more of the details. You went to like a content creators event in Dallas. Was it YouTube or was it TikTok sponsored? Who ran that event?
I did both. I
Oh,
did go
okay.
to a TikTok shop event.
Okay.
And I also went to the YouTube Creator Collective event. And I am a firm believer, and I'll tell you this, I am a content creator. I'm a UGC creator. And what that basically means is I make ads for brands.
Nice.
Y'all might have saw me in the Fabletics ads. I've done so many ads for Fabletics. It's crazy.
Nice.
When it comes to TikTok shop, my videos selling those cozy fit scrubs has over 1 million views. I make money off of that every single day. And
Ooh,
I
that's
have
good.
not posted a video about those scrubs in a year and some change, whatever. But when I was in grad school and I couldn't work as much, I picked up on content creation and I made money doing that. I still do make money doing that, but I made way more money then. I was making like 5,000 to 8,000 more dollars a month just doing content creation. So when people say like you can be a nurse and a content creator, it really irks me because yes, you can. And you don't have to be a nurse and content creator, you know. But those two events, the TikTok shop event was an
Mhm.
event where we can network with other TikTok shop creators, and you have to have a minimum GMV requirement, which means that you make TikTok some money. So they invited you out. We went to a mansion and they had a whole bunch of like TikTok shop samples that we could take home with us and actually make videos with in order for us to make more money. That was a TikTok shop event. The YouTube Creator Collective event, I am transitioning from just being a UGC creator to being like an inspiring influencer. So when people
Yeah.
see my videos, I have two pages. I have a nursing page and I have my own like personal page, which is being taken over by TikTok shop, but whatever. We're trying to get that back, situated. So like, oh, I get PR. I got so much PR. Like, I'm saying? Because you make the content and you tag the brands. Anybody can be a content creator. I don't have thousands and thousands of followers, but guess what? I'm gonna make some money from it. Back
Mhm.
on, yeah. So the YouTube Creator Collective event was so fun. It was a networking event. YouTube invited us all out to network with each other. They had some cupcake making sessions. We had questions we could ask the YouTube people that were there, like about the back end of our videos, how to grow our channels. They had so many like little tea stations, food. We had salmon, potatoes, like all type of stuff. Open bar. Open bar.
Okay.
It was lit. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you don't watch this video, nobody knows this. Yeah, I was a little bit inebriated. I fell in front of nobody knows that. Like I didn't even tell nobody.
We ain't gonna tell nobody.
But like you don't have to just if you're a nurse, you don't have to just like be a nurse. If you want to be a content creator, be a content creator. If you want to be like an influencer, be an influencer. Like don't let nobody tell you what you can and you can't do. I'm all of the above. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, just branch out and do whatever you want to do. Like I said earlier, we only get one life.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate you saying all that. I appreciate you saying all that. All right, Con. So we're gonna stop it right there. But where can people find you? If they were looking for you, where can they find you?
I hope you put this up on the screen if you don't. You guys can follow me at Not Easily Broke Can. Instead, it's KAN. You'll find most of my pages if you just hashtag Not Easily Broke Can or you put at Not Easily Broke Can, then you'll see both of my TikTok pages, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, Threads, wherever. Just type in Not Easily Broken and you'll find it.
All right. So editor, if you hear that, you don't get on it. Okay. So so all right, but hey, Can, this has been great. I look forward to maybe doing the next one with you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, later, Can.
Bye.